We have made it to Easter weekend and we are all looking for signs of spring, and we are finally starting to see some of them in our forecast. And the biggest thing is some sun finally rolling back in. We did have some stronger storms earlier this week, but we are happy to see some sunglasses weather here for not only Friday, but Saturday and Sunday as well. So if you're going to maybe one of the local Easter egg hunts, you are going to like this forecast. For today, highs are going to be into the lower 50s. We'll also have a little more sun in today's forecast compared to yesterday. And another difference is going to be your winds. Yesterday we had westerly winds and it didn't quite make it feel like we were in the 50s. Today we'll get a little bit closer to that. For your Saturday, we're going to be a touch warmer, but still sitting in the mid 50s. And that's when we're going to start to watch for a lake breeze. Easterly winds, we see that shift happen. And then that lake breeze, of course, will be playing with our temperatures, and we'll be watching to see the reach that it has further inland. And then finally, the lower 60s by Sunday. Of course, with the lake breeze, our lakeshore communities, just keep in mind these numbers might be a touch high, but we are still finally going to see some heat coming in the forecast for everybody. Here's a live look outside in Perrysburg. We were watching the sun coming up early this morning, and as far as the look, not much has changed. We have the sun that's shining pretty bright. You're going to need your sunglasses if you head out to Levis Commons, but you will still notice some of those higher level clouds that are out there. These are still from that cold front that brought us storms on Wednesday, and you can kind of just see that they're wispy because we are on those outer bands. You can see just a little bit of those clouds trying to kick in while we're still seeing that rainfall. We are done with the rain, but you can see it's not very far away, just parked along the eastern portion of the country, but it's still throwing those clouds our direction. So that's why we are still seeing partly cloudy conditions for our Friday. Still, I need my sunglasses when I'm out there, and you will too, and we will keep the sunny conditions in for Saturday and Sunday. Though that line drops on the sunshine tracker as we go into Monday, we're still kind of in the mix. We got some clouds, we got some sun, we're kind of somewhere in the middle. We do the rebound Tuesday, Wednesday. That's when we see that line going back up, and we have more sun in the forecast. So overall, the good news is when we have the sun, we also have that higher sun angle. So you are really going to notice that conditions do allow for a little more sun, a little more heat. It's just a little more of a spring-like setting compared to those winter days that we are moving on from. Now on Saturday, I know that we have some Easter egg hunts that are going to be going on before we have a friend hopping into town. If you are going out there for some of those earlier hunts, it's going to be chilly. Bundle up. Temperatures are going to be right around freezing. I wouldn't be surprised if we even have a little bit of frost on the car windshield. So maybe start the car a little bit early. You want to be road ready if you go out there and we have those frosty conditions. By lunchtime, we're around 47 degrees and then mid 50s for those highs. That's when we're going to peak into the afternoon. And you'll actually find it's a little bit below average. We should find temperatures to be a little bit warmer than this, but that's what we're working with. And overall, at least we're dry. We are going to have some sun. Yes, a few clouds will be out there, but overall, it's really not a bad Easter egg hunt schedule or forecast, that is. Even looking ahead, though, I know a lot of us are eyeing that 10-day forecast on the WTOL 11 weather app. We've been below average because average temperatures this time of year are into the upper 50s, and we've been sitting in the low to even the mid 50s for tomorrow. But Sunday and Monday, we have 60s. Though it's above average, it's actually serving as a pivot point for us because you will find Tuesday and then in and through the rest of this 10-day forecast, we have 70s coming into play for us. So you're going to find that average line parked into the 60s, well above that, even upper 70s. I wouldn't be surprised if Friday or Saturday we get close to that 80-degree mark. And even as we go and look towards next weekend already, still holding on to some mild conditions. We will see as those 70s start to trend downward how much of a drop that we make and if we get a little bit closer to some more normal April temperatures. Now for today, highs are going to be into the lower 50s, but we have more sun, like I said. The one thing, though, to point out is that our winds are coming out of the north-northeast around 5 to even towards 10 miles per hour. And that is going to be a little bit lighter than yesterday, but it is still sourcing that colder air from the north. So just keep in mind, it'll still yet have a little bit of a cool bite to the breeze, but that sun and temperatures being a little bit warmer than yesterday will make a difference. But mainly the sun is really going to allow us to look a little bit warmer outside so we can feel just a touch more comfortable. Looking at the extended forecast, not only do we just have 50s, but we have those 60s and those 70s as we go into next week. Also, morning lows are going to start to climb to where we will be starting our days out with lows that are going to be into the 50s. That's going to happen Wednesday morning. We're going to find that Thursday morning, Friday morning, because we have this heat. So this is definitely going to be making you feel like, hey, t-shirts, shorts kind of weather, even get the flip-flops out. The one thing that I want to notice kind of stepping out of the way here is in this 10-day stretch, there are no chances of rainfall here. There's not even a mention of some raindrops. So it is going to dry out, which will be good for folks who are maybe getting ready for the planting season. We can kind of, well, let things dry out a little bit. But when we need the rain, hopefully, then it will be back in the forecast. But the good news is you can make plans next week. Maybe you want to go golfing, visit the metro parks, or just go for a run around town. You're easily going to be able to get out and about and enjoy these temperatures that we have that are going to be into the 70s. So make sure you make plans. Of course, though, for all your weekend weather needs, have the WTOL 11 weather app on your phone. That's free to download. And then you can also keep track to see how long these 70s will last as we continue to move through the month of April.